Good morning, YouTube friends. Oh, that lighting's bad too, isn't it? Well, I promised myself really that I would come do a live every Monday morning, just to kind of stay consistent. So if you're a follower or you enjoy joining me, hearing from me, yeah, check back once a week at least on Monday mornings. So I'm trying to get right with this lighting. I'm trying some new things. Sorry that I'm not perfect yet, but that's part of the point of my sharing this morning is just you getting to know me and sharing of myself. Um, and just so you can get to know me and who I am and where I'm from, where I come from, what brought me here, and why I have chosen to join the digital marketing community with the Legacy Builders. And so, first of all, my name is Jill Genowin. I live in Rapid City, South Dakota. I'm a native, like fourth generation South Dakotan. I am 65.75 years old, and I have quite a journey, just like all of us, and it hasn't always been easy. And I think sometimes people who know me now, um, they just kind of assume that it's always been like this or that this is easy for me. And like so many of us, we've had bumps in the road along the way, right? And we've learned a lot and we've become who we are because of them. So, where do you start, But really, it all goes way back to that little girl, who's 4 years old, sitting in the lounge chair, dreaming. And that little girl, she loved to sing. And my mom loved Broadways and musicals. And, you think about those older movies, Hollywood back then, when there was really stars, right? And I had these stars in my eyes that I just knew I was meant to be a singer. I was put here. This life, I was supposed to be a singer. And so I had dreams. I was going to get married, I was going to have kids, and I was going to sing. And, it really wasn't about the money, it was just living those dreams. Well, hit teenage years. I did that as a little girl. I even had um, musical kindergarten when I was a little girl. And so I learned how to sing in front of people with a mic, dressed up in a little gown. It was adorable. And I just fell in love with and was very comfortable in front of audiences. And I love to sing. And come teenage years, and I was discovered in seventh grade um, by Gloria Brandt, who put me in solos in little small ensemble groups, and I got to sing more, right, and travel a little bit more, and did the hat and cane and different, kind of dance song routines. Oh, it was so much fun, and I was hooked. I took voice lessons. I took piano lessons. I wasn't as good at piano. I was so naturally blessed with voice that when piano was hard, I wasn't real turned on by that. You know what I mean? It didn't really light my fire like singing did. And I was told pretty quickly as I started nearing getting out of my parents' home, um, you can't do that and make any money. You have to get a real job. Um, really squashing and throwing cold water on my dreams. And grandma said, only the lucky ones get the breaks. And mom said, you can't. And dad said, you can't. And they really never mentioned college because I was this right brain artistic girl that really didn't focus on academics. Um, and so I didn't know what I was going to do, I have to admit. And maybe like so many of us, I just started hanging out in B parking lot, skipping class, smoking cigarettes, ruining my voice, right? And I lost my dream. I ended up, of course, in that crowd, the partying crowd, the rowdy crowd, um, attracting the wrong guy, marrying the wrong guy, getting pregnant, and having to leave that, right? Get divorced. And I stayed too long. I stayed too long because I didn't see a way out. I wanted to be the stay at home mom. And that lasted about 6 months, you guys. And I won't even get into the depths of the details of the gore of an abusive, emotionally and physically abusive relationship. And I'm sure you've all been there. But I had nothing when I left. I had 6 months old twin sons to take care of and myself. And guess what? Here's the thing. I didn't care enough about myself because my dream had already been squashed about my life to get out. But when I had those kids, then I cared about something. I had something. I had a reason to get out of an abusive relationship because when I started seeing it affect them, I was done. And that happened quickly. 6 months in, they were 6 months old. It was bad. And I didn't want them living that way. So I left without anything. He went to the bank first thing Monday morning, made sure that the bank account was cleared out. I had no money. I didn't have a job. I didn't have family in Denver, Colorado. They were all in South Dakota, where I live now, Rapid City, South Dakota. And I did this. Okay, God, now what? Literally, I hadn't been to church, the party girl. I hadn't been to church for years. I was raised in the church. I'm third generation pastor now. We're kind of going to get to that part. And so I didn't even know how to pray, is my point. I didn't even know how to pray. I threw my hands in the air and said, okay, God, now what? Where is my housing going to come from? How am I going to feed my kids? Where's their next bottle of formula? Where's their diapers going to come from? How am I going to do this? And I called my mom in South Dakota, who is a pastor at the time, and she still is. And I told her what was going on, and she said, just so happened to have a minister friend staying with me, and she's from Denver, and she's not going to be there for a month, and I'll ask her if perhaps she can call her manager of her apartment, and maybe you can stay there. And guess what? That's where we lived for a month. Provided for by God. And I have to tell you, for 2 years of my life, I lived like that, like this. Okay, God, where's that going to come from? We had formula brought to the door. I had a $500 check brought to the door for a retainer for an attorney. Wow. I called it seeing the hand of God. All of my provisions, everything I need, everything we needed was provided for. And within a year, I went back to school. I didn't even have a GED yet. I quit high school. I know. Don't do that, okay? Don't try that. I did everything the hard way. I think I was trying to punish my parents, but I was punishing myself, right? Live and learn. So I went back and got my GED and went back to school, and I didn't know what the heck I wanted to do or be. But guess what? I just decided that I'd do what I love. I took classes that I loved. I ended up in a music program that later turned into a fine arts vocal performance with a sociology minor. I didn't even know what my would be until like 2 years in, and I looked at my credits and went, "Oh, I've got a sociology minor too." But I performed, and I was with, singing groups, and I was living my dream again. And part of that time initially was living off welfare. I was on financial aid. I even, after being in the degree program for 2 years at Dakota Wesleyan, um, had the financial aid officer come to me and say, "Ooh, you ran out of money. You don't have any more money. I don't know how you're going to come back next semester." And I went, "Huh, okay, God, where is that going to come from?" And I didn't ever get into the fear because I just knew from my experience for 2 full years, I was in my right place and God provided every step of the way. And I kind of had this attitude. You might call it kind of cocky, arrogant. I don't know. But I just had this attitude that I know it'll be okay because I'm in my right place. And it was. The financial aid officer came to me soon thereafter and said, well, wouldn't you know, Wally and Marjorie Moore, I think was their name. How could I ever forget? Um, Wanted to give an endowment to a single parent here at Dakota Wesleyan. We chose you. And I kind of had the attitude like, of course. You know, it was God's provision just through Wally and Marjorie. And I was able to finish my degree program after 3 years. And then I wanted to go get a master's of fine arts because I wasn't really sure how I was going to support my kids, to be honest. Mom's right. You got to have an income. And guess what? The minister, the mom, everybody comes back into my life again and tells me I can't do that. I need to support my children who are now 3 years old or so. And my mom's a minister, and she said, "You need to go in the ministry. Your faith journey is so strong." My pastor says, "You need to go into the ministry. Your faith journey is so strong." And I'm like, heck no. I mean, this is the party girl you're talking to. Not still, I wasn't still, but I'm street savvy. I'm not the minister in robes, white robes, investments, right? And so I went kicking and screaming. I finally gave in. I finally gave up my dreams again. I left singing and I went into the ministry. I went into seminary, master's of divinity degree. And about a year in, I left, came back, because selling cars and the real world out there. I mean, I wasn't really able to just go out and sing and make a living, right? And my degree program really didn't serve me like to teach, or I wasn't going to be a doctor or a lawyer or something. Didn't want to. I mean, but that's what I ended up doing, is selling cars or waitressing. I've done some accounts payable, accounts receivable. I tell you what, I nickname myself the Jill of all trades for a reason. Because when you're a singer or you're a minister, you have to always rely on something else when there are downtimes, when you don't have an appointment in the church or when you don't have a job singing, right? But all of this is to say, in the end, I did divorce him. The kids and I raised them by myself. I got my degree program, undergraduate and graduate. I took my first church, became ordained 1988. And I've been serving as a pastor, third generation pastor. First of all, in the United Methodist Church initially, in rural parish ministry, not really where I wanted to be. I'm a town and country girl, like 80,000 people. I'd never been farm ranch girl, small, 250 people. But when you're new, straight out of seminary, guess where they send you? And I was a single woman with 2 kids. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to tell you like it was. For me in my heart, I got stuck out in the sticks. And there was no internet and there was no cell service. And I started my ministry making like $15,000 a year. I had like $60,000 worth of debt on my student loans left, and I had to finally file bankruptcy. And thank the Lord, my attorney said, you can't do that. They'll never accept it. They'll never write off your student. They did. Praise the Lord. Again, God, I swear, lean into it. I don't live under man's law. I live under God's law, and it works. I've had to do lots of other things. I've been a flight attendant. Oh, you guys, I'm not going to get into all that. We'd be here all day, and I really don't want to do that to you. I'm watching the time. I still don't have any people talking to me, but I'm going to pretend that somebody's listening, at least someday, maybe. So how did I get here? I mean, I've now served in the United Methodist Church until 2000, and I left them because I was tired of the hierarchy and the politics. And I watched my mom go through it, and then I was going through it. And then I have these kids, and they were about 8th grade, and the itinerant system, meaning they move you, right, about every 3 years. I was like, I'm done. No, I'm not moving again. They're in almost high school. No. So that's when I became a flight attendant. And for a little while, and I also served as an itinerant pulpit supply pastor with my mom, who now was retired, 65 or so. But she still wanted to work and make a little extra money because she too always had a minister's salary and wanted to continue to build her pension and a retirement fund. And just, and she enjoyed working, but she couldn't do it full time. So I helped her. I'd take 2 Sundays. She'd take 2 Sundays. We'd travel to the town. We'd stay at the parsonage, whatever it took. We made it work. And that was really great for me because it kept me kind of up front, in front, active. And I also became a flight attendant on the side. As long as I had Sundays off, I could make it work. And in 2014, I was asked to interview with the Whitewood Presbyterian Church, and I did. And they hired me, and I was put on staff as their the solo pastor in Whitewood, South Dakota in January 2015. And I've been there ever since. And then 2 years later, November, I think 2017, I was asked to be the pastor for the lead Presbyterian Church. And I decided to quit flight attending part-time, basically, and take 2 churches because I wasn't going to be able to commute back and forth to do all of that. So I've been there for 8 years. And you know what? When I look at why I'm right now just getting involved with this legacy builders community, this digital marketing community, I've tried network marketing even and building that up. And if any of you have been in network marketing, you know it it takes time and you get 25%. And then it's again, a hierarchy where I have an upline who makes off me and then I make some off my downline, and you have to work together and you have to kind of get along. It's really hard if there's struggles between you. And that's for me, especially when I'm working, a long, arduous process. Yeah. So when I found this, I loved it because this is 100% commission. It's mine. There is no upline. There is no downline. This is my business. Whatever I put into it, time-wise or otherwise, is going to determine my success. And they give you all the technical support. They have a community that you can ask questions. They have webinars with the founder who will talk directly to you and help you out. And 100% of the profits goes to me. There are people making their first million in the first year. I can make 30,000 in 90 days. You can make. I get excited because why? Like my mom, I'm going to continue to have to work past retirement. I am 65 point and 3/4. I'm almost 66 years old and I can't retire yet. I suppose I could be a pauper, sell my house. I don't want to. And I could just work and work and work like my mother in the church and not make a lot of money and work till I'm 80. My mom worked until she had to go in assisted living. And that's going to be me unless I change something. You feel me? And I found something. I found something. I've discovered something where if you know what I know about myself, you know what I know about you too, you know what works is whatever you commit yourself to. If I would have committed myself to 7 years in vocal performance, I know I could have been successful in raising my kids. I know it. I know God would have blessed that journey because of my own commitment and my willingness to risk and follow it, blinders on, do it. Instead, I did, got my 4-year degree in 3 years and did 3 more years in seminary. And I ended up to be a minister like my mom. I've made a decision. It's cool to have choices, right? I can do that. I love my job. I love my people. I love my parishes. I could choose to do that and be a minister the rest of my life, like my mother, until I can't anymore and be put into a retirement home, assisted living. Now she's in memory care, bless her heart. And all of her funds and all of her money go to care, providing care for her, rather than her being able to relax, vacation, enjoy the things she loves with her family, travel. She always wanted to travel, and she loved her family and wanted to take them with her, and she didn't and couldn't. And my ex-husband said to me once, "You're going to be just like your mother," which he meant single, working, nobody will love you. And you know what? No, I'm not. I choose differently. I get to choose differently. And that's my why. Because my whole life, are you like me? Do you listen to those outside voices that tell you you can't, you shouldn't, too risky, timing's not right, whatever? And so you keep doing the same thing in the rut over and over and over again, just hoping that God will, God will take care of you. A husband will take care of you. I had a friend the other day say, well, maybe your kids will take care of you. Guess what? No, I refuse. No, not going to do that. Count on somebody else to make this happen for me, to create the life I want. That's my why. I'm going to create the life I want. And you can too. With this program that I have discovered this Legacy Builder program, and I'm going to put in my description, okay, there'll be links, and we have a webinar on Wednesday at 1 o'clock Central Time. You can join me and Michelle, the founder. And the title of this one this week, they're every Wednesday, 1 o'clock Central. If you can't make it this week, come another Wednesday, 1 o'clock Central. Tune in to Michelle, and they have a different subject every week. And I will be inviting people every week. And this week is Not Enough Time, No Problem. We're going to show you how in 2 hours a day, 2-hour workday, you can get plugged in. It's all there for you, all the training, technical support, getting your web page built, designed, funnel system, marketing program, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, where you're at, your level of expertise. I don't have it, you guys. I threw more money at it a little bit just to get it built for me because I don't have time. I'm a pastor of 2 churches. So they did it for me. But it's so worth it. So if you want to join me, tune into the webinar Wednesday. I'll put it in the link, okay, in my description. And yeah, just get hooked in. That's all I can tell you. And I'll try to share some videos of the other webinars and the testimonials, etc. on here. But that's all I got for you today. I'm just excited, and I'm excited to share it because you know what? It's going to change my life. And I'm so excited to know that I can share this program with other people and help change their life. Moms, dads, single parents like me, retirees or wannabe retirees like me. I can't wait to help other people create, build the life of their dreams, your dreams. So with that, have a blessed day. Trust the process. Trust that you're brought here right now at the right time. You're always in your right place, always at the right time. And trust the process, the timing of it, because it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. I really believe that. God will bless you. So have a blessed Monday. Have a blessed week. And I hope to see you back here next week. Take care.